Hey there, welcome to LC Yoga. My name is Laura, and today's flow is a slow yoga stretch. I don't know about you, but I've had a lot going on and I could really use a slowdown. And so today we're going to take it slow in some deep, slow basics. So we're going to get a little warm, but we're going to stretch it out. And it's also one of the Happy Yogi Flows. And that means we're going to be focused on finding that place inside that's always full of joy for no particular reason at all, and making a little space to play. So if you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started. So let's come to the back of the mat in a child's pose. And this is a slow yoga stretch we're doing today. So that means we're just taking it slow and easy. So come into a wide-legged child's pose, walk the hands forward, and you can press the hands into the ground and just press the hips back before you come all the way down to the ground. Just get a little hip stretch there. Just let the belly get heavy. And then if you want, you can come all the way down, stretching those arms out in front of you, just letting the armpit sort of fall down. You get a little bit of a shoulder stretch there. And maybe bring your forehead to the ground if that feels good. If not, you can let it hover. Take a slightly more active child's pose. You're really just looking to start opening up that back body. Maybe get into the shoulders a bit. And start to deepen the breath. And just arrive here on the mat. And let everything else fall away. One more big breath here. Let it out through an open mouth. And then push forward, come up onto hands and knees, and come all the way forward. Just drop the hips, and you're in kind of a cobra pose. And just drop the hips as much as it feels good. Maybe the chest goes up toward the sky. No crunching in the lower back. If you feel that, just back the hips up a little bit. Just looking for a gentle back bend. One big breath here, and then pull back it just right back into that child's pose. A couple more times like that. Inhaling to come forward, chest comes up, head is the last thing to come up. And then pull the hips back, child's pose. One more time, inhaling forward. And exhale back. One more time, press the chest and shoulders down and stretch that out. And then walk your hands over toward the left. So we'll take a little side bend here in child's pose. Press your right armpit away from your left foot. And just get into that side waist on the right hand side. Couple of breaths. And then walk it over to the other side. Just bending into that and press that armpit away, this time from your right foot. Hips go back. And then come on back to center. Now lift the hips up again, and this time we're going to bring the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Dropping the hips down, we'll take a lizard pose. I'm just going to open the hips here. Now you can hang out here and just be still. If this feels like a little too much, you can be up here with your elbows on your knee or thigh, or maybe have a block or a bolster and place your hands on that. Maybe your hands are on the ground. Just find what works for you. Now kind of start to rock around in this lizard pose. And just kind of go side to side, and you'll start to find little muscles or bigger muscles that need a little extra stretch, and you can just kind of hang out there for a second, breathing into that. I don't know about you, but I sit a lot for work, so my side waist always needs a lot of stretching. I just get kind of cramped up. You can also flex your right foot, come on down to the outer edge of that foot and wing your knee out to the side, and that'll bring it into the outer right hip a little bit. Maybe staying still when you find a place, maybe rocking back and forth. Just opening that up. And then bring both knees back to the back of the mat and sit back in your child's pose. And coming forward slowly, and we'll take the other side. So step your left foot forward into a lunge to the outside of your left hand. Hands on the ground, elbows on the knee. Really what you're just trying to do is get your hips to go low. So you're opening the front of the right hip and maybe the outer left. So again, rock around. If you find a good spot, just hang out there or keep rocking back and forth. Feel free to again flex that front foot and wing your knee out to the side if you want a little extra on the left side. Big breaths. If you are rocking back and forth, just inhale to one side and exhale to the other. Keep it slow. No rush. There's a couple of ways to warm up the muscles. We can literally warm them up with temperature and movement. And you can also do it with breath, because a lot of the contracting you feel in a muscle when it's kind of feeling stiff can be the nervous system trying to protect that muscle from an overstretch. So the more you move, even slowly, in a cool environment, and breathe into that, your nervous system starts to trust a little more, and that muscle will start to open up. Now bring both legs back, sit back on the heels. Child's pose again. Now press those shoulders down, press the chest down, maybe the forehead rests. 2 big breaths. And then when you're ready, come on forward again. And this time we'll step the right foot in between the hands. And the back, curl those back toes under. Bring your hands up to your front thigh and press on up. And we'll take anjaneyasana, low lunge. So again, you were pressing the hip sort of down, but this time more forward. So we're still getting a little bit of opening there. If you'd like, you want a little back bend, you can bring your hands to the back, the lower back, to your sacrum, the top of your tailbone there. And press the chest up. Eyes open or closed. Start to open. Now you can keep doing that. And if you want to add some side bends, which I'm going to do, I'm going to lift my arms all the way up. Big breath in. And then exhaling, right hand goes down by the right hip. And side bend toward the right. Fingertips can float or they can touch the ground. You can also have your right hand on your right knee and just side bend gently. And then come on back up, both arms up. Inhaling, little back bend, and then the left hand goes down. Side bend toward the left. Turn to look up, so you're twisting open toward the right. In side bends, always twist away from the direction you're bending. That's going to protect your lower back. And then come on up, both arms go up. Bring the hands down by the front foot, and then step back to that child's pose. And you'll notice we're stretching the front of the hip when we go back, and then we're stretching the back of it when we come, or when we go forward, and then the back of it when we come back in a child's pose. You're kind of counter-posing in between. So come on forward, step your left foot forward in between the hands this time. Hands to the front thigh, and come on up. Anjani on the left side. Pressing the right hip forward this time. Maybe bringing your hands to the lower back. Get a nice little back bend there. No crunching in the lower back. You feel that? Just back up out of the lunge. Don't go too deep. If you want to take those side bends, lift the arms up, reach up, little baby back bend, and then left hand goes down, side bend toward the left. Now what's your face doing? Relax your eyebrows, relax your jaw, and drop those shoulders away from the ears. And reaching both arms up, reach up, inhaling. And right hand comes down, side bending on this side. And back to center, reaching up, big breath in. And as you exhale, hands come down by the front foot and come on back, child's pose. Now come on up to sit, so you're sitting back on your heels. And if you want to stretch the bottoms of the feet, curl the toes under. Backs of the hands to the knees, close the eyes. And we're just checking in. See, how much different do we feel from the start of class? And then slowly open the eyes, coming forward, hands and knees. Step the left foot forward and lift your back knee off the ground. Walk the hands in between, so now you're in a wide-legged stance. Inhale to get a long spine, reach the crown of the head forward. And then as you exhale, fold it in. Knees can be bent here. And we're going to do that thing we do where we use breath to open those muscles. So we don't need a lot of heat for that, not today. So breathe into the back of the legs, turning the tailbone up toward the sky. And keeping them as bent as they need to be. And then inhaling to bring the hands under the heart, bring the hands to the hips and come on up to stand. And we'll take a couple of side lunges just to open up a little more and add just a little bit of heat. So inhale, reach the arms up toward the sky. As the palms come together, bend into the right knee and stick your butt out behind you. So you're coming into a lunge where your knee is not going over your toes. And we're just going to hold here for a breath. And then inhale, sweep the arms out to the side as you come up to stand, reach up. Hands in prayer, bring them down in front of the heart, bend into the left knee. Butt goes out, check that knee is not going over the toes. Inhaling, coming up. 2 more times each side, bending into the right knee. Pause. And inhale back to center. Exhaling to the left. A little warm back there. Inhaling to come up. And then exhaling down. Last time, inhaling and exhaling left. Now this time, inhale, sweep the arms up, come back to center, and we're just going to fold it forward. So hinge at the hips. Again, knees can be bent. Press the hands into the ground to lift the tailbone up. Let that be what starts to straighten the legs. And with that little bit of movement, you may feel a little more open this time. And from here, you can just stay still, or you can add some side lunges to get into the inner thigh a little bit. Just breathing in to one side and out to the other. Wherever you are, come on back to center. Walk the hands forward so your arms are long, and then bend into your left knee. And we're going to come all the way down, bringing the hip to the heel. And maybe the heel stays up, or maybe it comes down to the ground. Right toes are singing soprano up to the sky. Left hand goes out to the left, right arm up. Skandasana. Drawing the belly in toward the spine, let the hips get heavy. And we're twisting toward the right. If that doesn't feel good on the shoulders, you can always have your hands in prayer. Your choice. A couple more breaths. And then press the fingertips into the ground, lift the hips, we'll come back to center and then go right on over to the right side. Hip to heel, again, heel can stay off the ground or bring it down. Right arm goes out this time, left arm up. Twisting left. Breathe and open. If you want your hands in prayer, all good. Just let those hips get heavy. Flexing the left foot. And then pressing the fingertips into the ground. Lift the hips. Turn towards your left foot. Bring the hands to the ground so they're kind of shoulder distance apart. And then we're going to step back into a plank. So in plank, we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So draw your hands toward each other. You're engaging your chest muscles. Toes are pressing into the ground. Heels and the crown of the head are working away from each other. Core is drawn in. The inner legs are drawn together. Legs are strong. 2 more breaths. And then from here, turn toward the right. So your feet are now facing the right. You're on your left hand, reach the right arm up. And then reach it on overhead. Bring your right foot in front of you. So we'll take a plank variation. Inhale to lift the hips up. And then exhale, lower the hips down and reach your right hand toward your back foot. I'm going to hang out here for a couple of breaths, just letting that side waist and hips stretch it out. You can always place your elbow on that front knee. Little shaka, smile for your picture. Hi. And then wherever you are, as you inhale, we're going to lift the hips back up. And exhale, come right back down. One more time, lift it. And exhale down. Swim that hand forward as you lift the hips. Come on, back to plank. And then we're just going to take the other side. So turn so your feet are facing left. Left arm goes up, straight up toward the sky and overhead. Left foot comes out in front of you. Inhale, lift the hips. And exhale, they lower. They're resting on the ground. Reach toward that back foot. And the more upright you go, the more stretch you get. So if it feels like too much, you may want to bend your elbow, or maybe lower that elbow to the ground. That works too. If you bring your elbow to your knee, don't forget, throw me that shaka. Thank you. Don't forget to play. Yoga is my playtime. All right, now we're going to take it up and down twice. So inhaling, your left arm up and overhead, hips go up. And exhale, bring it down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. This time as you lift the hips, swim that arm forward, come back into a plank, lower the knees, and walk them forward in between the hands. Extend your feet out in front of you. And we'll take Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So start with your knees bent, and maybe they stay bent the whole time. As you inhale, press your fingertips behind and press your chest forward. Start to walk the hips backwards. Let that be what starts to straighten the legs. And we're pressing the chest forward continuously. If your body lets you in, bring your hands forward. If not, leave them behind. Close the eyes, flex the feet. Press your chest forward and breathe into the backs of the legs, continuing to walk them back, walk your hips back as your body lets you in. You can bring your hands to your shins or the floor or your feet. And then walk the hands up, bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees out to the side for Baddha Konasana. Again, rocking the hips so they go back behind you. Tilts your pelvis forward. Press the fingertips behind you, chest goes forward again, just as we do in all our forward folds. Again, close the eyes, focus on the feeling, not the shape. Maybe your hands come forward, but only if that helps you press your chest further forward. Walk the hands up, draw the knees together. Bring your feet about mat width distance apart. Bring your hands behind you. We're just going to windshield wipe the knees a little bit. Just internally rotating to reverse what we just did. And then roll down onto your back. Let your feet stretch open, your legs go long. Feet just flop out to the sides, hands, palms up. Snuggle your shoulders in, get comfortable. Maybe rock the head back and forth. And take a nice Shavasana. The most important part of practice. And take a few big cleansing breaths. Just inhaling through the nose. Just fill your entire abdomen and chest, and then exhale through an open mouth. Just sigh all that out. Take a couple of regular breaths. Just feeling that. And then if you want to take a few more cleansing breaths, as many as you want, go right ahead. Now let everything sink down and take these last little moments for yourself to do nothing. Now when you're ready, start to bring the bottoms of the feet to the ground, knees up toward the sky. Bring your hands to your upper thighs. Draw your knees in toward the chest. Give them a squeeze. And then make your way on up to sit. Find a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your knees, palms up, close the eyes. And we'll just close it out. Take a second here to thank yourself for getting onto the mat today. Slowing it down a little, but still getting a little exercise, a little stretch, so that you can really relax. Have a beautiful day or evening. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed today's class. And if you did, please consider subscribing and maybe throw me a comment on this video and tell me what you thought. And if you check out the For You section of my channel page, you're probably going to find another video that you like if you liked this one. If you're a beginner, look for the beginner series. That's one of my playlists that you'll find also on my channel. And if you're not a beginner, if you've been doing yoga for a while, you're going to find lots of stuff here that will take you from fitness to relaxation and everything in between. So I hope to see you again. Thanks so much.